Hey guys, Josh here. Now this is a very not serious video, but it's not. I'm not gonna edit it at all. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna upload it when I'm done. Basically, earlier today I was witnessing a conversation, an argument, but it was more of a conversation really, between two people, and they're talking about Peter Parker and him being white in the upcoming Spider-Man films, or being Asian, Black, Latino, anything else. And yeah, so they're talking about it, and one person was like, this is I've grown with Peter Parker always being like this, and I don't want them changing him for the upcoming movies just for either PR or PC or just to do it. Like, there's no point. And the other side was like, well, he could be that, and Dan Slott's tweets were getting thrown around because I guess Dan Slott's been tweeting up a storm on the subject, and I thought I'd make a video talking on both sides because I think I have a good insight on the matter, because I deal with this all the time. I'm half black, in case anyone didn't know. Hybrid, the reason why the channel was called Hybrid0027 originally was because I went by the name Hybrid because I'm half black and half white. I'm a hybrid. That's why the channel is still Hybrid Network, even though more so now it means incorporation of different types of media we do. Originally, it was a reference to the fact that I'm half black and half white, and I went by the name Hybrid. So moving on from that, I battle with this all the time. I like being a fan of a bunch of different characters, but at times, when I was younger, I did battle with the fact that I don't look like a lot of these characters. Like, honestly, the hardest thing about being half black is that, and not the hardest thing, but whenever they make a half black comic book character, and I'm only talking about in the realm of comics, I'm not talking about real life or anything like that. This isn't a vlog, but when they make a half black character, it's usually bullshit because usually he's just black. Like, Miles Morales is half black, half Latino, but he half Puerto Rican, but he looks black. Whenever there's a character that is half black, half white, like Wally West in New 52 is supposed to be half black, half white. He doesn't look half black, he just looks black. It looks like they just said he's half black just to throw that in there. So you never feel like there's a character really represents you. And you commonly you get misidentified as being Latino or something like that because your skin's lighter and things like that. And yeah, like it really is. I think it's a really dumb thing. Culturally, you can identify differently. Like, culturally, I identify as being Italian. I was raised Italian. I learned Italian. I was raised in a predominantly Italian household. Like, my mother is black, my dad's white, my dad's Italian, from Tuscany. So, even though I'm half black, I identify with that side. But at the same time, I was raised, Italian. And so basically what I'm getting at here is, should Peter Parker be white? And I think yes, he should, because that's who the character is. That's what he's been for decades. And I'm going to address this from two different sides. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because really, I don't care either way. And I'll get to why I feel that at the end. But first, I'm going to take on the side of the people that are supporting them changing Peter Parker. So, Peter Parker in the movies has been white for all 5 movies he's been in. And for the 6th one, people are like, why not just make him Asian, Black, Latino, Hispanic? There's actually a difference between Latino and Hispanic, by the way. Hispanic is Spain and Europe. Latino is Latin America, in case you didn't know that. So, basically, on the side of people that say why not, this is Peter Parker for, a new generation, supposedly, and the world isn't as whitewashed as it used to be in regards to the comic book medium. So if there was any time to change the character's race, now would be the time, to show that there's more than just Caucasian superheroes in the world. So that's the main argument, and also to show, I guess, other races that you can be that. And I guess some people argue that a big portion of the whole he's wearing a mask is that anyone could be Spider-Man, which is so true. That's not the only reason, and that's honestly, I don't like when people just focus that on Spider-Man or just one character, because really that applies to all heroes with the mask. Any hero that has a mask on, a part of that character is the thought that anyone could be that character, no matter what race you are, what creed you are. Anyone could be that person. Anyone could be a hero, basically. That's what I'm getting at here. I could be a hero. CJ could be a hero. Nick, Oscar, Zach. Anyone could be a hero. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter where you're from. You could do good. So on the side that thinks that Peter Parker should stay the way he is, and I'm not doing every side of it. Obviously, I can't do that. Physically, I just can't do that. I don't have the mentality to capture everybody's mindset, but I'm trying to get the general mindset. So for the people that say they shouldn't change it, a lot of people are like, well, he's been like that forever, and that's the Peter Parker I grew up with. Also, alongside growing up, like, why change it? If race doesn't matter, then race doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, yeah, it just doesn't feel right just to do it. It's unnecessary. It's just going to piss off people that are fans of the character. Yada, yada. That's the main one. Me personally, I think they don't win either way. I don't care because I know they don't win either way. You change his race, people are going to get mad. Because, sorry, you make Peter Parker black. People are going to be like, why don't just make Miles? You make him Latino. People are going to be like, why not just Miguel O'Hara, who's like the Latino. He's well known for being like the Latino Spider-Man. You make him Asian, a lot of people won't care. I really wouldn't mind, honestly. But I think of these characters as art, If you think about it like art, when they're created, that's who they are. Like the Mona Lisa. You don't have the Mona Lisa and make her black, make her Asian, make her Latina technically, just because. Because honestly, does it matter? Is that a part of her character? No. But it's art. That's how she was created. So why change it? Just make a new painting. So I think the appropriate way to do this. Sorry, I've been finding it cold. So I think the appropriate way to do this is like they have been. Marvel's been doing a pretty good job. Kamala Khan, Cindy Moon, Silk, Miles Morales. Introduce a new character. Because honestly, the way to do it is to introduce a new character. And you can't tell me that doesn't work, because Marvel's been doing it for a while now, and it's working pretty well. We made a character bio for Silk. That did extraordinarily well. Versus some of the other ones we've done with Caucasian characters. The race doesn't really matter at this point. It's just a good character. So, and same thing for like Wally West. The reason why I was upset about that was not that he was black, but they're taking the character that's been around for decades, and they're changing his appearance, they're changing his personality just to appease a new crowd. When just as easily as they did that, like honestly, they changed Wally West's character in New 52 so much they could have just made a new character. And they really could have. And nobody would have been mad. People would have been happier because individuality, like, phase out your old characters while phasing in your new characters. If you really want to show progression, age with the time. Don't stay stagnant. The biggest problem with comics is that they don't like aging. They like keeping everything the same as long as possible. And that's where they're at fault. That's why they're not nearly as... That's why we have this issue. Because if they were to phase in characters while aging out older characters, we would have that diversity naturally. Just like we do now. Look at the workplace. For example, if the workplace, and I use workplace generalized, the office, so to speak. If the office did not slowly phase out old employees with new employees, we'd have all the same employees until it reached such a breaking point. We'd just have an incredible influx of new employees. And that would cause issues because just a rapid change like that would not be welcomed. It'd be such a change, such a shift to how everything was going. It caused problems one way or another. And they'd be like, oh, just go with the flow, just go with the flow. That takes time. You have to naturally change things, because when someone gets used to something, you just change it and tell them to get used to it, or you call them racist, you call them a bigot, something like that. It doesn't work well. So honestly, should Peter Parker be white? Yes, because that's the character. Should Luke Cage be black? Yes, that's the character. Should Black Panther be black? Well, definitely, yeah. He's an African king, African prince. But it's just, and people are gonna throw Johnny Storm out there. To that, I say we've already had Johnny Storm, so it's not as big of a deal. But it still is kind of a big deal in its own way. Like honestly, I think the reason why it's not as big of a deal is because people aren't nearly as passionate enough nowadays as they used to be about the Fantastic Four. But in the same vein, yeah, we're all gonna see how it goes, and it helps me have such a great actor like Michael B. Jordan playing him. But if this was our first time getting Johnny Storm, yeah, I'd want a white Johnny Storm because that's what he was like. That's Johnny Storm. as he was created. They could have easily made another Johnny Storm like character, but then people are going to argue this against the comics. So you see, it really doesn't. You don't win. In some way, you don't win either way. And honestly, if they were to change the race to Peter Parker, now would be the time. But the reason I bring up Johnny Storm is to bring up another point. Unlike Johnny Storm, Peter Parker has well-known counterparts that are different races, like Miles Morales and Miguel O'Hara, which makes it harder to change his race. Because when you change his race, people argue, why not just do Miguel O'Hara? Why not just do Miles Morales? So that's another thing you got to think about here, is the fact that not all characters have racial counterparts. And when they have racial counterparts, it's harder to change their race, because it kind of takes away, not the impact, but it kind of takes away a little bit that other character. So let's say they make Peter Parker black. Are they going to do Miles? Probably not, because what was the big deal about Miles? He was this African-American Spider-Man, this black Spider-Man. Same thing with Val Zod. If they were to introduce a black Superman, Kal-El, black Superman, let's say they do that, right? It'd be a really big deal, because, well, some people might be like, why not just do Val Zod? Why not just do President Superman? But, it's like I said, it's hard. There's no way to win in this whatsoever. And if you're still watching this, comment below, comment on your opinion. So, to summarize, should Peter Parker be white? Yes, that's Peter Parker. That's his character. That's how he was introduced. That's how he's been this whole time. And to just change him would be unnecessary. And it's not racist. It's not being a bigot or whatever. It's just respecting the character and how the character was done. If you really consider comic books and art, you preserve the art as it was made. And if you want a different interpretation of the art, you make a new painting, a new drawing. You don't just cross out over what was already made and do it your own way, because that's disrespecting what was there before. And honestly, that was a product of its time. If you want to make it relevant, reinvent it as a product of this time. Like I said before, phase out the old characters, introduce the new characters, age your characters. If comic books really want to be modern and progressive without all this drama now, that's all they need to do. Because when they're holding on to one time period for so long, it's bound to cause issues. And we're seeing that now. So, yeah, comment below what your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you later.